A campaign to save a Palestinian village under Israeli occupation seems unlikely to attract much attention given the much larger stage that Israel-Palestine peace talks are played out on. But attendance at a recent Capitol Hill briefing told a different story. More than 100 Capitol Hill staffers and community members packed a presentation in Washington, D.C. in November of 2013 to hear testimony by 3 representatives of the Palestinian village of Wadi Foquin and one of their Israeli neighbors in Sur Hadassah. Together they painted a vivid picture of daily life in the region and how the current situation is unsustainable for both Palestinians and Israelis. One of the speakers, Fahmi Manasra, Director of Outreach for the Wadi Foquin Community Development Project, described ongoing Israeli government actions threatening his ancient farming village, including illegal confiscation of land for the extension of Israel's separation barrier and for construction of the Israeli settlement of Beitar Illit. A couple of years ago or more, we heard an Israeli soldier at one of the checkpoints to enter the village of Wadi Foquin saying after 2 years there will be no Wadi Foquin, Manasra said. So we started to sense a real threat to our existence and our land. According to Manasra, dynamiting for settlement construction has damaged the water aquifer and dried up many of the natural springs that are the main source of water for the people, for irrigation, and for farm animals, and sewage water from the settlement runs directly into some of the village's agricultural fields, contaminating crops and Wadi Foquin's long-held reputation as the vegetable basket for Bethlehem area. In addition, he said, Israeli authorities issued military orders prohibiting villagers from expanding an old road to accommodate tractors and other vehicles, and even issued orders to stop construction of the village's only playground and to clear it away. Rayed Samara, West Bethlehem coordinator of mayors and village councils, spoke to the larger issues of the Israeli occupation and implored the audience to remember that U.S. policy has always been against the Israeli construction of settlements. The U.S. has always told the world that the building of settlements on Palestinian land forms a real obstacle in making peace between Israelis and Palestinians, Samara said. Meanwhile, it feels strange when the U.S. vetoes anything that asks Israel to respect international law, human rights, or realize Palestinian freedom. Both Samara and Ahmad Sukar, the mayor and village council president of Wadi Foquin, appealed to the audience to support Palestinian national and human rights. Speaking in Arabic, with Manasra interpreting, Mayor Sukar said, "We have the right to live as any other people, and we have the right to use our own resources and to live as human beings, like everyone else, like you here. I think no people or nation in the world would allow such an awful thing to happen with this gray water running into the fields and the water resources." Sukar concluded his remarks with an invitation to visit Wadi Foquin and Palestine. The November 19th presentation, entitled Wadi Foquin Briefing, a microcosm of the urgency for Israeli-Palestinian peace, was organized by Friends of Wadi Foquin, a Bay Area-based partnership created by United Methodists to raise awareness of the plight of this one village in the larger context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It is out of our concerns for the future survival of the village that we have been organizing advocacy on their behalf that has led us to this place of having this public briefing here, said Reverend Michael Yoshi, pastor of Buena Vista UMC. Having the villagers come to Washington, D.C. to address an audience that often stereotypes Palestinians as the enemies is a significant step towards changing the dominant narrative of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and moving towards truth-telling on Capitol Hill. While in Washington, the delegation met with State Department officials to encourage swift intervention on the village's behalf. Friends of Wadi Foquin supporters are following up with legislators who were at the hearing, encouraging them to do the same. The briefing was co-sponsored by the General Board of Church and Society of the United Methodist Church, Christians for Middle East Peace, the Arab American Institute, Palestinian Christian Alliance for Peace, and Americans for Peace Now.